Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Asia. Again, my name is Andrew here. I would like to bring another new episode to you guys. Another characteristic of Bitcoin. To me, what is Bitcoin? To my personal opinion, Bitcoin is a collectible item, limited edition. Okay, why limited edition? Because Bitcoin actually has only, if you look at the data, all right, Bitcoin is actually have in total when it is designed, it has about 21 million, right? Just need to show you visually so you easier to remember, right? When Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, Bitcoin literally have 21 millions only circulated. Okay, it is fixed in the code. It cannot be changed. It cannot be amended. It will be forever 21 millions Bitcoin in record. Nobody can create more. Nobody can duplicate more. And if you lost the private key, the Bitcoin that you hold, it will be forever lost. That's why if you look into the statistic and some of the research, Bitcoin might already, in terms of total amount, decrease to 17 billion only. Okay, it might be only 17 million Bitcoin ever existed from now on. So the more people lost it, accidentally format their computer without backup their private key or wallet, so it will lost forever, not only Bitcoin but the other cryptocurrency also. So now we just talk about Bitcoin only because Bitcoin is the father of the entire cryptocurrency. Is the first coin in cryptocurrency industry. So Bitcoin to me is a collectible item, limited edition, because it has only 17 millions now. So just like any other collectible items, alright, for example, furniture, antique furniture, stamps, old coins, old currency. Okay, these are all the collectible items that the people like, the hobbyists like, the collector like, or even the rich man like. You had to measure the true value of collectible item because it really subject to people like. So if that particular item have a deep connection with the collector, if that particular collector is willing to spend that much of money to collect that particular item, as say a Picasso drawing or something that is only one in the world, it might sell for millions or even billions just for one painting from Picasso or Van Gogh, because there's only one in the world, and there's people who perceive that value. Probably same drawing, there's no meaning to you. You think it's crap. You think you can draw better than them, but it has high value to the other person. Okay, it can sell for millions or even billions. So it's hard to say, you know. It's very when you come to collectible items, when you come to art, music, etc., it's really depends. So come back to this. Bitcoin is a, or it will be a collectible item in my personal opinion because if we look at the trend now, okay, obviously in the future youngster will embrace the cryptocurrency, okay, because generally it gives people or the youngster perception that crypto, if you own a crypto, is really cool. If you you know, spend crypto, if at least use some crypto, it will kind of relate with their age, with the trend now, which is a digital trend. Everybody is using handphone, and crypto is very much can be spent using the handphone. And then the difference with WeChat or PayPal and other you know, messenger payment gateway is you can literally send any amount anytime without a third party knowing and without getting a third party permission. So this characteristic is very much can, you know, click with the millennials now, which they do not like restriction, they do not like they want to have their own thing. So it's a really a cool thing for the entire millennials. Okay, so what my point is, Bitcoin is only have 17 millions. Okay, there's a lot of other assets that the normal people or the rich people want to have a piece of, include gold, silver, other commodities, and of course I do not need to explain other investment vehicle from the banks. So Bitcoin is eventually is emerging a cool digital version of assets, new assets. So what if we don't what if all the rich men, okay, they want to own one Bitcoin, at least one Bitcoin in their portfolio, which is kind of affordable now. It's only USD less than 5,000 per Bitcoin now. So we see the data. How many millionaires in the world now? There are 36 million millionaires in the world. This data is 2017, I think it's even more now. There are 36 million millionaires in the world, but we only have Bitcoin only have 17 millions. So what if Bitcoin potentially become a really cool collectible item? All right, forget the value, please. Just people would like to collect it as one of their collectible. All right, so even just for the rich man, the millionaires, it's not, Bitcoin is not enough for every one of them to own one, because only the millionaires is 1 times higher than the amount of Bitcoins already. So what will happen? People will chase Bitcoin, and people will chase to own one. Okay, and of course I do not want to mention the price, but eventually this will cause the price to rise. And this is only the millionaires. How about the total population in the world? How many there is now? 7.6 billion people as of now. In 2019, there will be 7.7 billion estimated. Okay, how many millions equals to 1 billion? One billion equals to 1,000 millions. Okay, so we have 7.7 billions population now. So how much? How many millions? 7 point, oops, wait, 7,000, okay, millions, if not mistaken, 7,700 millions people in the world. So 7,700 billions, okay, people. What if each of them want to hold Bitcoin or have to hold Bitcoin? What will the price be at that time? Do people want to hold Bitcoin or have to hold Bitcoin? Okay, what's the difference between want to and have to? Maybe I elaborate a little bit more on this. Have to hold Bitcoin. Want to hold Bitcoin. Because why? Because you can be your own bank. That's why. That is why. It gives you and option alternative. Finally, you have an option and alternative. Let me explain more. What do I mean by you can be your own bank? Just think, when you put your time and your hard work in exchange of value, so your value is transfer into what? Your paper money, which is now is very much a digital fiat money, because the government, the central bank, already defined value should be stored in national currency, which is stored in the bank. Alright, so when your value is in the bank, all the time it is a numbers, because it's already become digital. All the time your value, which is originated from your time and hard work, is stored as a numbers in the bank. So I'll ask you a question. Is that particular value that you store in the bank is still owned by you? Please ask yourself this question. It is still your, literally your money? Okay. So that is why some people always watch movie, the gangster or those people who is in the who make money from the so-called the illegal side, they would like to hold their value in cash and store in their own house. Okay, because in a way you're really holding your own value in a way in cash. Okay, and your value, if stored in the bank, when you want to transfer certain value, let's say 50,000, 100,000 to your relative or your friend to overseas, the money is made by you, so you have every right to do anything. But because from the past until now, there's only one entity can help us to transfer value to overseas. Okay, we cannot transfer the value ourselves because we do not have the infrastructure like bank, and people wouldn't take a flight and bring a bunch of cash and pass to the your friend or relative, maybe in another part of the world. Nobody does that, and it won't be allowed because most of the country, if it could not allow you to bring cash more than maybe 10,000 or 50,000, depends your country rules. So there's something not to say wrong, but it's something weird here. So the money that you made through your hard work, you have every right to use it anytime or use it for anything you want. unless it doesn't hurt anyone. But you need to get permission from a third party, which at first they didn't involve in the process of you earning the money. They just provide a service that is, very much a monopoly service, which allowed you to temporarily park your value in their system. And because of this, because of this temporary storage service or the technology transferring value service that they have, because of this you need to get their permission. And also every transaction that you made, you have to be under their radar, because you using their system, you have no other choice. So Bitcoin, or we call the crypto, given you another option to be your own bank. Okay, last time you want to transfer value, you need to use the bank digital system. They use Swift to transfer your value from this country to that country, and your friend or relative might get it in a daytime or 2-3 days or even a week. And now you can literally send your value to the other party, even at night, when urgent. You do not need to wait for the bank to open. You do not need to go to the bank to fill in a lot of documents. You can do it on your own, and you do not need to see anybody's sour face. You can do it on your own because of the Bitcoin technology, because of the crypto technology. Okay, there's a word of it, but I avoid from mentioning it here because the bank like that words. It starts with a B also. Okay, but I will explain that technology in a separate video. And it gives you an option, an alternative. I wouldn't say this thing will entirely taking over the traditional financial system. No, this given us an option. Okay, let's let's just for example, for taxi industry. Okay, again I take the taxi as an example. So taxi drivers, sometimes you use their service, some of them is very, the attitude is not very good, because at that time the taxi industry only monopoly by a group of people. So when you do not have any choice, when a certain service is monopoly, sometimes you need to see people's sour face when you use their service, because you don't have other choice. But when Uber and Grab's car came into the scene, it changes the entire industry, because people have other option now. I do not need to necessarily must use your centralized taxi service. If your service not good, I can use others. Okay, I can use Uber, I can use Grab car. Okay, in fact now sadly nobody would like to use taxi anymore, because Uber and Grab is so convenient and is fast and efficient, and I think it's cheaper also. So when things go to a free market, it's not monopoly anymore. If you know, literally get better. And if you fast forward back to the bank service, it's the same. When you go to the bank, you have to sometimes, you know, some bank might give you sour face, you know, some. And when you want to perform a transaction to overseas, probably you need to fill in a lot of forms, and you need to get permission, and the managers or the reception, the teller might give you a hard time. But they are improving now. I can see, because they knows the disruption is coming, so they need to make changes. They need to streamline all their processes to make it simpler, to make it faster. So they are doing it because the disruption, financial what I call the fintech disruption is coming. So this is why people might want, when if they have better understanding, this is why they want to hold Bitcoin, hold crypto. Okay. So why people have to hold Bitcoin? Why? If you Google Zimbabwe inflation or Venezuela inflation or Bitcoin news, okay, you notice I just take Venezuela as an example because it's the latest example. So if you notice, Venezuela facing a crisis now around the in their country, which they do not have efficient people in the government manage the country well. So their own national currency had hit a all-time high hyperinflation. So the people in Venezuela pretty much, those people who holding the currency is worthless now, and probably few 50,000 worth of Venezuela Bolivar only can buy a roll of toilet paper. Venezuelan Bolivar and the world's are the most worthless currency. Okay, so you see their currency. I think okay, imagine how to lug around your cash in a laundry bag or wheelbarrow just to have enough money to buy a loaf of bread. Okay, this is the Venezuelan crisis now. And okay, there's wait, nothing much here. So okay, so when a currency is in crisis, hyperinflation, they will go to other things. All right, the government do not allow them to buy other currency easily. Okay, So if they could not do that, they have to put their value in something that is more stable, or it is widely accepted in the world, or it is growing generally in the future. So you can see here a report from CNBC: Bitcoin trading in crisis that just hit an all-time high. Okay, the amount of Bitcoin traded in the oil-rich but cash-poor country, which is Venezuela, has soared by 30% to 2,500 Bitcoins. Okay, so this report is in, I think it's just recently, right? You can see wiki local Bitcoins volume since 2018 September, which is 6 months ago. It's getting higher and higher. People who want to buy Bitcoin, who have to buy Bitcoin, have to, due to crisis, currency crisis, inflation, hyperinflation. So if you manage to store your value in something that is more stable, or generally is in a growing stage, then your money, or at least part of your money, can be avoided from losing value in the hyperinflation. Okay, what caused hyperinflation is because of the country, doesn't manage their currency well, the circulation, and overall political scene, and also the debt system in that particular country, and the economy. So these are the people that have to hold Bitcoin. All right, so come back to this. Bitcoin is a collectible item. It has 17 millions limited amount in the world, and look at the total population in the world has 7,700 millions compared to 17 millions only Bitcoin in the world, and there are 36 millions millionaire in the world now, which they can easily own one Bitcoin if they want now. So what will the Bitcoin value be? Why everybody, not everybody, I mean some people estimate that Bitcoin in the future, the value might goes up to 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, or even 1 million, one Bitcoin, is because of the fixed supply. It is limited. It has only 17 millions unit of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can be sent borderless to around the world, and has the characteristic of the bank technology, which literally you own a bank technology in your pocket. How cool is that? Until you figure this out, you won't understand what Bitcoin value is. So this is one of the characteristic of Bitcoin in my own opinion. Okay, Bitcoin is a collectible item to me. Okay, again, it's Andrew here from Crypto Asia. Thanks for listening again. Over and out.